This is the TikTok that's going mega viral. Is it a safe space to say I have a strong dislike for this specific type of man? Yeah. Wait, by the way, it's really sad that Curtis Connor got clapped on this too. Like, oh, why are you catching it straight? It's because, first of all, I mean, this was the meta and it's like falling out of favor, and that's fine, right? Half of the reason why I think people have this kind of resentment is because guys that look exactly like this, that are fake male feminists, have ruined this, whoever this account owner is. This poor lady most likely got her life ruined by an absolute dipshit that presented himself as like a soft boy, male feminist, whatever, and then, you know, was a douchebag. So now she's like, I hate these men. They're all secretly insert whatever happened to her from a guy that looks like this. The girl that posted it is a TERF. Yeah, I mean, usually they're also TERFs too. They'll be like, this guy, he's pro sex work, so obviously he's a sleazy piece of shit, whatever. You don't need to be charitable to crazy. I mean, yeah, it's usually that. It's usually a TERF or a swerve. Oftentimes a swerve and TERF. Sex work exclusionary rad femme, trans exclusionary radical feminism. I think the TERF and swerve meta is going to keep popping, but it will reach a peak most likely by next year. TikTok gender wars greatly elevated this in the Western hemisphere, I would say. The misandry, I'm a TERF, I'm a rad femme, I think like all men need to be killed, like I'm waging a political war just on men, like that shit is most likely going to reach its peak. It hasn't reached its peak yet. It's still going. I don't care that much about it because I think it's just noise ultimately. Like, misandry is irrelevant. It's just reactionary approach to misogyny, which is the only game in town that has institutional legitimacy and institutional power. So it is what it is. Let the ladies chirp a little bit. You know what I mean? Let them have fun. That's how I feel about it. Let the ladies hate on men a little bit. I just don't like it when they hate on sex work in general, and I don't like it when they also hate on trans women. Get Curtis Connor out. It gives feminists in public abuser behind closed doors. Like, this right here is just like this is just hypocrites, performative, liars, and manipulators. Male manipulator, final boss. You know what's funny about this? It's just like, yeah, that's just your own personal experience with a guy that looks like this. Like, you had a shitty experience, which again, it's fine. It is what it is. Curtis is a feminist though, and he raised money for BLM, LGBTQ rights, and free Palestine. He's a liberal. Me, when I have zero critical thinking skills, so insufferable, bro. Yeah, it's just people are just mad. Why is Curtis Connor always catching strays? Especially Curtis Connor. Nah, not Curtis Connor. Liberal equals right wing equals abusers. Yeah, I know. Safe sleazy. Pill eaters has been cooking Curtis and the way Curtis looks. And cooking me as well, ironically enough. But I mean, I don't really give a shit, like I said. Who cares about these comments? Complaining is just another form of not all men. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. I'm just trying to explain to people that do see this kind of stuff that it's ultimately irrelevant. And getting upset about it is silly. And people should understand where this anger comes from, because some of that resentment, not saying that anti-trans stuff or the anti-sex work stuff, but some of that resentment towards men in particular across the board does come from systemic harm that a lot of these women have experienced, and also direct harm, like personal harm that they've experienced, and how that kind of abuse is normalized in society. So it is what it is. Radfems are so instantly racist and use the same 1350 memes to justify it. Yeah, no, it's a dangerous pipeline. I will say this much. Oppressed people are allowed to hate their oppressors. Yes, but also guess what? Oppressed people are not allowed to shit on other oppressed people by saying, I'm a woman and therefore I'm oppressed, so trans women. Well, okay, well then you're a white feminist, you know? Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that's exactly my point. Like, I understand why there's so much resentment and misplaced anger in certain instances towards like all people that happens as a consequence of like being hurt and then feeling like no one hears you, and in many instances actually not getting any sort of real justice in this process because of patriarchal constructs that exist, and then developing this resentment Like, it's understandable to feel resentment and anger, but of course, if you translate that to like, I'm waging a war against all men, then ultimately, yes, you are being illogical. In the same way that like, and I'll say this as well, people get mad at me here too. Like, if you're a trans person and you think all cis people are inherently out to get you, I understand exactly where that anger and resentment and fear comes from. But yes, of course, it is still technically an illogical fear to have. It's just a defense mechanism that you've developed over the years of constantly being f***ed over. Same thing goes for black people afraid of all white people, or angry and resentful towards all white people across the board. It's a valid anger and resentment to have, but extending it to everyone will lead you astray. Sometimes you will end up developing reactionary frameworks as a consequence of that. And that's how you arrive at like the ADOS movement that are ultimately irrelevant, not that significant, don't have that kind of motion. Anyway, none of this is to say like, don't say f*** all men or whatever. I don't give a shit. I mean, that TikTok that we were looking at was directly saying f*** this man, and that man was me. And I still don't care. I understand exactly where it's coming from.